launched on July 16th with a three-man crew of Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. The crew spent a total of 21 hours and 31 minutes on the moon. The ship returned July 24th with the pride of knowing they had done the impossible.
People believe there are many motives as to why the government would want to fake a moon landing. First, because President Kennedy gave his famous speech saying, "I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of a man on the moon." Once he was assassinated, it is believed that the government wanted to fulfill his goal and put man on the moon.
Despite some skeptics' views, strong evidence proves that America has sent man to the moon. Our first evidence is Buzz Aldrin's famous footprint, which our next video clip proves.
140 pounds of lunar material returned to Earth from all of the Apollo missions. There's not much of it to go around. So for this test, NASA has given us a lunar regolith simulant.
It's manufactured to test equipment that is going to the moon. It's very similar to lunar dust in the fact that each particle is very sharp. Dirt on Earth has been weathered, so it's very smooth. So this is as close to lunar dust as we can get.
That's likely to be the key to this myth, a comparison of the physical properties of sand and lunar regolith. Down here, a footprint in dry sand collapses because the weathered particles can't bind together without water. But up on the moon, other bonding agents are at work, one of which, the irregular and jagged shapes of lunar dust, could cause it to stick together in those famous boot prints. Will the irregular shape of lunar regolith in conjunction with the vacuum result in a clean boot print and bust the myth?
Give it a shot.
All right.
The rig is ready to take its one-legged step, and the vacuum chamber has been vacuumed.
Boot stop, vacuum. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! Take that!
Yeah! It works! In your face, conspiracy theorists!
Another reason conspiracists believe the moon landing was a hoax is because the shadows are not parallel in the pictures. This theory is proven untrue in the next clip.
So these are the photos the guys will focus on. According to Apollo hoax advocates, this shot was taken in a studio because the shadows are not parallel. Supposedly, that's something that could only happen with multiple light sources. Then there's this image of an artfully lit astronaut. Conspiracy cheerleaders claim if he really was standing in the shadow of the moon module, you wouldn't be able to see him so clearly.
Alright, with our sun in place, man, in addition to looking totally freaking awesome, it's pretty clear here, with the ship and the rocks both on a flat surface, that their shadows are totally parallel.
And that is what the myth proponents say the NASA photo should look like. Instead, you can see the rock and landing module shadows are in different planes.
Now we need to figure out what it would take to make them not parallel.
Yeah, let's play with the topography underneath it and see what we can get. Conspiracy theorists say there's only one explanation for this. 2 light sources. And since there's only one light source on the moon, and that's the sun,
That's real.
this is the moment of truth. We've got an accurately shaped and textured moon lander, and we've concocted an accurate moon surface that has the same reflectivity index as the actual moon. If the myth is to be believed, our astronaut on the dark side in the shadow of the lander is going to just fade to total black when we try and take a picture of him. All right, you ready?
I'm set.
All right, here we go. Taking the photo. Let's see. There it is.
Oh, there you go. He's standing full on in the shadow, and you'd think you wouldn't be able to see him. He'd be dark, but he's not. He's in brightest day.
The myth here is that you would not be able to see this astronaut this clearly unless there was a secondary fill light illuminating.
Many conspiracists also believe the moon landing was a hoax because of the flag flapping. They say with no pressure in a vacuum-like atmosphere, the flag would not be able to move. Once again, Mythbusters proves this false.
The all-important control.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, this is the control at regular atmospheric pressure. And I'm just going to shake the flag as if I were an astronaut planting it in the surface of the moon.
All right.
Ready?
Be the astronaut.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
All right, it's moving.
And ready?
As expected, the momentum of the twisting and turning quickly dissipates, and the flag is stationary in no time at all.
Okay, I guess we put a vacuum on it and see what happens.
All right, let's start sucking the air out.
So vacuum tech Donna turns on the pumps.
This is flag waving test in a vacuum. Okay, planting it on the surface of the moon, and stop.
Oh, it's definitely
Hey,
It's moving a lot.
that's moving a lot. I mean,
still moving.
That's awesome.
there you go.
Without drag or friction from the air, the momentum of Grant's planting action lasts for a surprising amount of time.
Could be mistaken for a breeze,
Yeah.
but it's lower air resistance.
Comparing it to the control in regular atmospheric pressure illustrates that theory beautifully.
So in the vacuum, the flag moved, not just a little bit. It actually moved quite a bit. So that proves you don't need wind in order to move the flag in a vacuum.
So unless someone finds a shot of the flag flapping without an astronaut manipulating the flagpole, it's Mythbusters.
During the Apollo 11 missions, astronauts left behind a device that proves man went to the moon.
Called a retroreflector, made up of many tiny prisms just like this. And did you further know that the Apollo astronauts were nice enough when they visited the moon to leave several of these on the surface so that Earth-bound scientists could point lasers at it and gather information about the moon?
So what you're saying is that we get a really big laser and point it at the reflector on the moon, and if we get a signal back, that means that we were in fact there.
Precisely. Okay, it breaks down like this. A retroreflector bounces light back at the light source, regardless of the angle. This differs from a mirror where the angle of incidence has to be perpendicular. So, if there was a retroreflector on the moon, and we knew its exact location, and we had a powerful enough laser, we could detect the reflection and prove there is man-made equipment on the moon.
You're a coward and a liar and a...